In-class discussions are hard. In order to avoid this, the temptation is to gin up emotions by picking a less than relevant topic. But talking and participation by themselves don't add up to learning. This mini is about how to plan and execute productive in-class discussions. Step 1 is to create intellectual tension. Being able to foster reasonable disagreement can be more difficult for certain topics than for others, but the whole point of discussion is to help students practice evaluating the strength of valid competing ideas. You shouldn't be running a discussion if your goal is to move them to a right answer. You'll also want to anticipate the range of viewpoints your students will hold. If you come equipped with evidence and arguments for these perspectives, you'll be better prepared to prompt them and give good feedback on the quality of their discussion. It's also your job to anticipate some points of view that won't be fruitful or move kids in the direction of today's learning goals. Refereeing a discussion like this might sound inorganic, but letting a discussion freewheel without guidance won't often take kids to an erudite place. And crucially, you'll need to give students dedicated time to prepare for a conversation. Referencing a source accurately and efficiently will require them to mark up or annotate the text. This is also an opportunity for reticent students to script out what they plan to contribute and gain confidence in their ability to participate. Once your discussion is underway, one of your main roles as facilitator is hiding the ball. It's a bit of intellectual sleight of hand where you conceal your personal opinions as long as possible. After all, it can be hard for students to recognize that your answer isn't the answer. Again, the goal of discussion is to articulate and evaluate multiple arguments. But not all perspectives are created equal. If kids are going down a rabbit hole that you don't think is going to prove useful, you should feel empowered to apply the brakes and redirect them towards a more fruitful line of inquiry. Creating a record of the conversation is a crucial way to keep students engaged and accountable. If there are two sides to an argument, you could poll and record where your students stand on an issue before and after the discussion. You could also create a conversation map that tracks who speaks to whom and whether they're meeting conversation goals like asking questions or referencing a text. Conversation maps also make excellent wall decorations. And finally, you need to plan to stamp the understanding. Because a discussion won't produce a neat, correct answer for you to reinforce, it's extra important for students to synthesize their learning. To help them do that, you could close a discussion with a writing task that asks them to articulate on paper the best argument and evidence that the discussion produced. Remember, if there isn't a reasonable disagreement to be had, or if you've got your heart set on students guessing what's in your head, today might not be the best day for a discussion. But if your learning goals would be genuinely supplemented by discussion, you'll need to put in the prep work and execute skillfully.